Hi, my name's Chris and I'm 38 years old and I live in a small village in Kent. My story is at the age of 18, I was given a large sum credit card. I probably did what many other people do, and that is buy something with every intention of paying it back on the next month, on the next payday. But inevitably other things crop up, whether it's me going out or something goes wrong with a car, and throughout a number of months and years that credit card peaked at its limit. It was only then I started to realise that the repayments on it were huge. So my outgoings were double what my incomings were. I decided to apply for another credit card. So what I ended up doing was withdrawing cash from the new credit card and then paying it into my bank and then transferring that money to the old credit card, so at least I could make the payments. And then once the month came round for my new credit card to have its balance paid, I would withdraw off of the old one, put it into my account and pay off the new credit card. So I was very much robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I was going around in a vicious circle. I was obviously incurring high percentage fees every time I withdrew money. It came to such a stage where I had two high value credit cards completely maxed out. I had a lot of sleepless nights. I couldn't really talk about it because I was embarrassed that I'd got myself into such a state. I didn't really talk to my parents about it. I didn't talk to my friends about it. I carried on as normal, tried to live a life like I had been living, but deep down it was incredibly stressful. It came to a point where I had to accept defeat, and I approached both credit card companies that I had with and requested that I went on a debt management plan. And I contacted the credit card company and said that I was willing to pay a lump, which was 50% of the total value, as long as they would write off the other 50%. Fortunately, they accepted that. However, I was then blacklisted for any credit for 5 years, which meant I couldn't buy a house, I couldn't get another loan, I couldn't get any credit cards. So I had to start from scratch with my earnings and then learn to save money properly. Even if it's just a small amount, £50 a month, £100 a month, whatever it may be, that was my money and that was my credit, no one else's. So what I ended up doing is I contacted Zupa, and they very kindly allowed me a good consolidation loan. This is before I'd actually entered into the debt management plan. So I then had the money from Zupa and I paid off the two credit cards in full and had one single loan, which was at a much lower rate, much more manageable. It was still tough. I still had to be careful of my money, but it worked out nicely that I'm now in a position where those two credit cards are cleared. I'm coming to the last 12 months of my loan with Zupa, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I have been able to enjoy life again, save up for a holiday, treat the children. The one thing that I have learnt out of this is to talk to my wife about it, talk to my parents about it, and hopefully this message, if someone listens to it, then that's brilliant, because you're not alone. There might not be an immediate solution, but if you're willing to persevere, are willing to change how your spending habits, then that is a great start. I have a list. I know exactly what my outgoings are every month. I know if they change, I will change my little list. So I know at the end of every month I'll have this amount of money. If I have that amount of money, I can take the children out for a meal, I can take them to a play centre, or we can start saving for Christmas. You can see what the month ahead has for you. Throughout the coronavirus, when that hit, I was unfortunately put on furlough. From that, I had my list and I immediately went through that list and saw what the high value items were that were going to come out of my account. One of them was my mortgage, and the other was the Zupa loan. Fortunately, the bank contacted me directly and said that they were willing to put me on a mortgage holiday, which I think many hundreds of thousands have probably done. I contacted Zupa. They have a form online. I actually suggested to pay 50% of my usual payment each month. They contacted me within 2 days and actually bettered that, so I'm only paying 1/3, which is a great relief, especially seeing as my furlough has now been extended. So I now know that I will be comfortable for a short while longer. They've been fantastic. The customer services have been brilliant throughout that. What have I learnt out of this? I've learnt that budget every month, having a list, looking at what your future bills are going to be, what are important, what are not important. Can I spend that? Can I not spend that? Sometimes there are reasons to go outside of it. You need a new boiler or a tyre puncture or some school clothes for your children. But if that's the case and you do need to borrow a loan, make sure you can repay it. Make sure that you can keep it back. You might want to get that extra £1,000 on the loan, but if you cannot afford it, it's not worth it. This is my real money story.